I'll keep talking.
I'm not...
Be amazed at my talent. Hello, everybody. It's Ruth here at artfulstampin.co.uk. So my husband has wandered in and is going to join me. He's a bit bemused. He's like, well, what can you do with that stamp set?
It's like two... Well, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say it's like 2 tracks of penguin footprints. But anyway, I don't know.
Right, well, what I usually do when I first get a stamp set is just get stamping, because when it's a new stamp set, you want to play with it. Now, when I first look at this, I'm looking at the shapes. So there's quite long shapes here. And then we've got... Oh, I wonder if you can make letters out of this. Like with the curves and the... Anyway, Tom's already had one idea. If you stamp the keys... What did you say?
Well, I say if you put the key... Just the card. Imagine the card.
Yeah.
Just the stamp of the keys in the middle.
Yeah.
And underneath, missing you. For anyone who's lost their keys. There's a lot of people lose their keys.
They do.
But I've never seen a card.
Oh, and then for those of you who are already on here early or watching on the replay, he told me something really naughty. Such a really schoolboy trick.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell them
private thing between the husband and wife.
Well, you could tell them and then see if they get it. And then if you don't get it, we'll explain later.
Well, I saw that, you see, and I thought you could stamp that. And I just thought of something that we talked about at school years ago called the Pen 15 Club. People asked you if you wanted to be in the Pen 15 Club.
Has anyone been asked if they want to be in the Pen 15 Club? Okay, so if you have been asked, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I needed it to be explained to him. Explained to me. All right, Anne-Marie says no. Oh, Anne-Marie, you're so innocent. Like me, Anne-Marie, you are. You know,
anyway,
innocent and untouched.
I was very different.
See, look, even Deborah
then.
and Kathleen.
Anyway.
Oh, all these lovely people who are not rude like you. We will tell you later. Oh look.
Yeah,
oh no, and I can't tell Betty.
I went to a...
Betty's like, you know...
mainly boys' school.
A really nice, upright Christian lady.
Yeah, where you...
Don't Google it, Anne-Marie.
I'm not sure.
We'll tell you later. I had to have it explained to me. Anyway, so brand new stamp set. I went to an all-girls school. I bet you had all your own little rude things that girls say. Anyway. Cindy says, oh no, no upright lady here. No, it's not terribly rude. It's just it's schoolboy childish, you know. Like, let's giggle about naughty words. I've just dropped a hint there, so you might figure it out. You might just figure it out. Anyway, sorry, as I was saying, when I have a brand new stamp set, this is the first thing you do with the rubber stamps. You put all the stickers on the back of them. Because since we've had the new cling mount, they are awesome. They stick so well to the block that you have to actually get your jumper. Bring your jumper over here. Look, see, here's his jumper, and you have to actually do this to get a bit of fluff on there, so that when you stick it onto a block, it's not super duper sticky. Ah, Monica. All right, if you've got it, don't say anything. Let's not spoil it for anybody else. Oh dear. This is a lovely stamp set for, I think, for Father's Day. So just figured out where the emojis are. Oh, Betty, well done, love. Right, Tom, can you get YouTube up on here? Because
yeah.
I need to watch my own video. Oh, Melanie. Okay, so my husband's in the room, and he was looking at this stamp set, and said, yeah, turn it down. And he was he was saying that when he saw this stamp here, he said, oh, you could do the Pen 15 Club with that. And I was like, what's the Pen 15 Club? And he was like, here, I'll write it on your hand. Anyway, I didn't let him. He wrote it on a bit of paper instead. It's very cheeky.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to make a card.
He's going to watch me.
I'm here though, just because I guess as someone who's not made many cards, I look at this stamp set and I'm waiting to see what Ruth does with it. Because if it's trees and flowers and that sort of thing, immediately you start to get a picture, don't you, of where you put things. And but when I look at these, I'm thinking, wow, what?
I'm wondering if I'm thinking we wonder if we could make up words.
I don't know.
Letters or numbers or something. I've just got a friend join me. It's getting big and it's just under my... What? Under your nasal passage? What do you mean? Hi Cindy, you've got 10 card kits. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen the news, some of you may not have, but in the UK we've just had an announcement from our Prime Minister. Basically, did you see that I went a bit wrong there?
Huge spot.
Oh, she's got a huge spot. I thought you were talking about the fact that
I
misplaced this.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Prime Minister, he announced we are not allowed to meet people who are not in our family members, or in our household, rather, not family members, in our household. And we can only go to work if it's absolutely necessary. And we can only leave the house to go shopping for necessities. All unnecessary shops are going to be closed from tonight, which I think is very wise. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. We're not going to talk about it anymore now. Right, how fabulous is this stamp? It's very graphic, lots of lovely images. Yeah, so as I said, I get stamping. So Tom, do you want to choose your favourite colours?
I don't have any.
You don't have any favourite? Well, just look at them and think, oh, I like
have
that.
What I'm wearing.
Oh, you're wearing Pretty Peacock, I'd say.
Yep. Okay.
Pretty Peacock. He's wearing Pretty Peacock and he's wearing black jeans. So let's go for dark grey, shall we? Basic grey. What else?
Yep.
What else would you like? Would you like something bright to go with that?
Okay.
No, not okay.
Yes, please. I don't know.
Yellow? Orange?
Honestly, I wouldn't put either of those in that, but
right.
I think I'm going to trust your instincts.
Oh, there we go then.
You're teaching me, really.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, it was, our church service was live streamed on Sunday morning, and it was technically a little bit more stressful, obviously, than usual. But it seemed to go okay, and Ruth's in pain. She did a PE lesson this morning.
I did that on YouTube PE thing. Oh my word. I am so going to suffer in the morning. And I'm like encouraging the kids. I'm like, right, kids, we're going to be up at 9 o'clock. We're going to do our PE lesson. I think Tom's going to have to wheel me in. Okay, so brand new stamp set. Sorry it's taken me a bit of time to... Tom's been here to entertain you anyway.
Yeah.
So, obviously, darker image. I think a solid image. Let's go dark-ish on this. Now, what I like about stamping in colour is that it just looks so different compared to when you see it in the catalogue, because, you know, we see it in those sort of dark grey images on the catalogue, and then, you know, actually being able to stamp and see, you know, how fun it's going to be is really good.
Get a drink.
All right, you get a drink. He'll be back. He'll be back with the jokes in a minute.
You haven't done the hat one yet, the hat card.
Oh yeah, he's got an idea for a hat card. I'll wait for him to come back. Right, so let's say a quick hello to everybody. Sorry it's taken me a bit of time to get going. Deborah, Christine, Anne-Marie, Sandra, Gina, Connie, Carol, Anne-Marie, Kathleen, Monica, Betty, Connie, Hi, Steph, Ingrid, Melanie. Who else have I not said it to? Janice. Hi, Janice. Steph's got her spot. Not sure my marriage will survive this. Oh, bless you, Janice. Well, I was saying to the kids today, I said, we are so blessed to have the house that we live in. You know, we've got lots of different rooms and, well, I say lots of different rooms, you know, we've got a kitchen, we've got a living room, we've got my craft area, we've got a big garden. So even if, you know, having to stay home is fine with us. Hi, Julie, Fatbird Stampin. What a cool name. Welcome. Is this your first time on my live? Hi, Christine. Just saw you pop in. Hi, Miranda from the Netherlands. Lovely to see you. Right, let's get stamping this. So, ooh, big bit of paper. Let's just do it. Let's do it. I like it. I know what, let's do rows. Shall we just do rows and see what happens? Oh, that's going down in a row. Oh, well, never mind. We'll have to go down in a row. Oh. Oh, there we go. I know, I'm totally feel for families that are living in such small spaces. Oh. Right, so I'm just grouping some of these images together. Just to see. I guess I sometimes look at things slightly architecturally. Yes, very Mary Poppins, isn't it? But I do love the old bird, Mary Poppins. Actually, I'm so happy. My daughter was watching the first film, you know, the original with what's her face, Julie Andrews, and she's been trying to learn, you know, in Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Mary Poppins says it backwards, doesn't she? She says, I'm going to show off now, docius aliexpiesticfragicalivupus. And so May keeps coming, if I'm in my craft room, she comes down and she leans on my shoulder and she goes, how's it go again? So I'm teaching her how to say it. Because she always forgets how to start it off. So I'm like, it's docius aliexpiestic. And she's like, docius aliexpiestic. It's so cute. No, that one to go there. It's nice in this colour. I wouldn't mind you having a tie in this colour.
Mm.
Oh, Steph, how cool. Steph's got a Mary Poppins quilt. Oh, can we get a Mary Poppins quilt? Can you get double ones?
Not for at least another 3 weeks.
Amazon Prime has a lot of PE videos. Cindy said, my husband saw our credit card bill online and said, you've been busy. This is Pretty Peacock. And talking of peacocks, on Saturday we went for a walk to Powys Castle, which is now shut, but was open to the public and now is closed. And we saw the peacocks and they were beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's quite a few peacocks there. So when this all blows over, if anyone wants to come and visit me in Welshpool and go to Powys Castle, do, because lots to be seen. Right, I'm going to keep these. Should I keep these lighter colours for doing some stenciling? What other image could I fit in here then? I do want to have a look at this shoe. Oh, thank you, Julie. Have you been this way before? I'm wondering about another colour. Like a Merry Mallow. That might be nice. Some nice Merry Mallow brogues. I wouldn't mind a pair of these. So we're creating a one-sheet wonder here. You know, we're not doing anything super duper fancy. We're just
That's
having
nice,
a play. You like that one?
yeah.
Would you like to use this colour?
No.
Oh. Boring. Oh, did you reside in these ear parts? Julie, where are you from? Okay, and I always say don't forget the edges because, you know, like there might be just the, you know, just in case. Because when you cut this up into pieces, you see, you don't want it to look like you've forgotten about the edges. Oh, I'll be ready for the Stampin' Pub crawl from Scotland to Wales and parts unknown. Yes, indeed. Right, so I thought it would be fun to use the stencils because Sheila on here, Sheila Bomer, for the last week, every live I've done, she said, stencils, stencils, use the stencils. And I haven't. So I am tonight. Ah, you're from Cheshire. From the Shire. And now you're in Leicestershire. Well, we're not in a shire. We're next to Shropshire. We're in Powys. Over the border. Oop, just moving it over. Okay, so I like to use the stencils to fill in the gaps. Alright, so this is quite fun because it means that you can choose where to put your pattern, you see. And I've just realised I don't know what colour I used before on this. But there we go, never mind. Also, I don't know what colour I used on the stencil before because whatever colour I used before is also coming through. But that's half the fun. Hi, Denise. Ooh, what do you think?
Clever.
You like that, do you? So he's trying to get ideas for when it's time to make me a birthday card. So you can cover up all your white space, you see, doing this. Oh, I don't know if you'll get any airfares there. I don't think any airlines are going to be booking extra just yet. Okay, so just to see what it's like in another pattern. Tom can choose now, can't you? Which one would you like? That one, or that one?
I would go for that one.
Oh.
It reminds me of a comic artist.
Does it?
Yeah, Jim Woodring.
Really?
I don't know if anybody watching this reads comics, but there's a guy called Jim Woodring who does designs like this in his comics. Do you remember a comic called Frank?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
You would do very...
it's quite stylised, isn't it?
Yeah.
From what I remember. Don't you have a tartan? Oh, no. Where's Janice when you need her? Was that a really bad Scottish accent? I'm working on it. I've had to go up to the church, so I guess I'll watch the replay since you're doing stencils. Oh, Sheila! I did this for you. No, it's okay. If you have to go, you have to go. Catch me later. Okay, so I'm encroaching a little bit on the brickwork, but it's actually quite nice to mix it in, I think. And also, interestingly, it's turned grey, whereas over here it's a bit browny because of whatever I had on my stencil. I love Janice. She types in Scottish. Can you understand what that says? I'm just getting my jammies on.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a Scottish comic. We're Woolly.
Woolly.
Remember that? The Brooms.
No, I don't.
That was a Scottish comic.
This is Smoky Slate, but over here I cannot tell you what it was because it mixed with whatever was on my stencil. So I'm sorry, I did a Tim Holtz there. You know how Tim Holtz doesn't clean his stencils and stuff.
Do you remember I won a box of Scottish things
Oh, yeah.
a few years ago?
So Tom went through a major phase of entering competitions. And it was in the days where companies had more money than sense. And as part of ways... And I guess it was just before social media was really taking off. So, but the internet was big. So the internet was gaining in popularity, but social media hadn't quite made it there. And so you could enter competitions to win things. So Tom discovered that if you looked carefully at what was on offer, as in if you entered a competition that required you to be creative, like, I don't know, what did you do?
Well, if you had to make something, write a song or make a film, or anything like that, and it was then voted for rather than picked at random, it meant you had
half a chance.
You had more of a chance of winning, especially if you. That's it. Yeah. Especially if you did something good. Oh yeah, I asked it. Yeah, so we won. I wrote a song for Pepsi, and we won something. I wrote a couple of songs for Pringles competitions. Yeah, I think we did Vodafone. I think we won a phone. And
we won a trip to Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Do you want to hear the poem? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I could tell you the poem.
Okay, so... Oh, hi, Jenny. I have a friend who still enters lots of competitions. She wins loads of stuff. Really? Okay, she needs to tell us where the places are to do it. Now we've all got time to...
Yeah.
Not really. So the competition to go to Disneyland was run by Domestos, the bleach or the cleaning liquid company. And what was the brief?
The brief was to write a poem about an individual who in some way was helped by Domestos. And I think the theme was grim tales, or something dark or Tim Burton-esque.
Or was that my idea?
No, it was to do with a person. It had to be a person.
Right.
So I wrote a poem, and it had to be 12 lines long at most.
Right, you ready? You going to tell it?
Am I going to tell it? Yes. Okay, I'll tell it. Yeah, there are lots of competitions out there actually, but I particularly went for ones that I thought only a few people are going to go for this. Anyway, so I wrote this poem. This is one of the first ones we won, and this is it. I bring you the tale of a young man called Hermes, whose house was a haven for hundreds of germies. He never washed dishes; it caused quite a reek. He'd eat from a plate and taste lunch from last week. The fridge, never cleaned, must too get a mention. The mould was so old that it now drew a pension. The walls of the bathroom were bare to the view, the wallpaper stripped by the smell from the loo. But then by the love bug the young man was bitten. Her name was Domestos, and Hermes was smitten. He wooed her, and soon their two hearts were connected. So Hermes was changed, and his house disinfected. There you go. And the reason I remember it is I told it to my sister last week.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, there you go. So that won us a trip to Euro Disney.
Yeah, so it was 2 adults, 2 children. And so at that point we had
3, didn't we?
We had 3 children, but one was under 2, so we got him in for free. So we were careful to take the holiday before he turned 2. And then they sent us a framed print of it, and they illustrated it as well for us.
Which is
and it's in our loo.
Which is on the wall in our toilet. There we go.
So yes. Yes, I remember getting the phone call. I was walking home from bringing the kids back from school, I think, or going to get the kids from school, and they said, "We're very pleased to tell you you've won a trip to Disneyland, Euro Disney."
Yeah.
So That was fun.
for the days.
Those were the days. Right, there we go. Oh, I forgot to press play. Right, so that's the first thing I would do with that. So this I would chop up then into just whatever and have it as a bit of a background for a card. Right. Let's get another bit of paper. Right. Should we use some of these smaller elements? Are you stamping tonight, Tom? Are you going to stamp?
I always feel a little intimidated.
I think you should stamp 15 pens.
Pen 15 club, no.
Pen 15 club.
So I'm just watching, but I do intend to make a card for Ruth's birthday.
Yeah, it's next month.
Which is next month. I always feel a little bit nervous making a card.
Oh, what about, let's mix it with a bit of gingham.
Oh, what does that do?
Right, well, you can use this by putting it onto a block, or you can put it down and then you put the ink on and then you put paper on top and da-da. But I sometimes like to use it like this, where you just get a bit of ink. Actually, I'm going to go in at an angle, deliberately going at an angle.
Melanie's birthday is next month.
Ooh. I'm wondering if, because it could get pretty pricey for me to send cards to all of you, I wonder if you could send me your birthdays and I could make you a card online. But then I would sell it for charity. How about that? In his garden stood Steve, and one lettuce leaf was all that was left. He was met with grief. Then he looked down the hole, which was not from the mole. Said the rabbit to Mole, "Come on, let us leave." Is there more to it, Martina? We're all like in bated breath, waiting for Martina. Oh, I've got it now.
What?
In his garden stood Steve, and one lettuce leaf was all that was left. He was met with grief. Then he looked down the hole, which was not from the mole. Said the rabbit to Mole, "Come on, lettuce leaf."
Oh, the very good. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Oh dear. That took us a while, didn't it? Very clever, Martina. Right, there we go. That's just to get a bit of pattern on there. I'm wondering whether actually just to go in with some pattern now and then go in with the stamping afterwards. Yeah, the penny dropped. It took a while, didn't it? Have I missed any other comments now? So let's just do areas. I used yellow on this last time, so it's a yellowy grey now. What other poems do you know, Tom? Tom's a bit of a writer of poems. What are the appropriate?
I don't know, you caught me off guard.
Oh, have I? What about
Lunchbox.
the lunchbox? All right, you have to give us.
Oh, I'd have to find it. See if I've got a copy of it.
Well, you just printed it out the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, Esther says lunchbox. One fine day, in the middle of the night, two dead men got up to fight. They each had to do this and shot each other. Two dead men got up to fight back to back. They faced Drew their swords and shields each other. Did he woo me with poetry? He wrote, I think he wrote in a card. No, he tended to write poems after we met. I don't get the shot each other bit. Am I being really slow tonight? Oh dear, I am being slow. It's a nonsense limerick Grandad told us 40 years ago. Oh, I see, they're dead. Two dead men got up to fight back to back, yes. Right, yes, I'm his muse. Right, pretty peacock. Let's have, what about a pretty peacock? Oh, I don't know. Oh, a pen. Yes, this pen. It's quite cool. And it's so incy wincy. Now, I wonder, we could almost create a pinstripe with this. I'm not going to do loads, but I'm just going to have a bit of an experiment. Oh. There we go. Yes, it's a pen pinstripe. That's a pen border. And because it's quite a dark colour, you can stamp off, you get 3 generations there, which is really nice. It's lovely. I like a fountain pen. Right, oh, and there's a watch. So this stamp set is currently free when you spend £45. So if you think that if you struggle with masculine cards, this one is quite a good one for men's cards. And as I said earlier, when you actually see them in different colours, it makes such a difference, from when you just see the packaging. It's quite pleasing to the eye, isn't it? Right, I'm going to leave a space for something else. I don't know what I'm going to do. Right. Oh, the little keys. Oh, and the background. Oh, I'll show you what I'm working on later. If you guys saw my Sunday video, it was some bunting that I'm actually going to take apart, and I'm doing some additional pieces to it, because another friend of mine's got her daughter's turning 18 next, I think it's the end of next weekend, and I'm doing some bunting for her, and it needs to be longer than the one that I made the other day, so I'm adding extra pieces to it. Oh, Tom's printed it out. He's coming. You ready for poetry hour, everybody?
Poetry hour. It might seem like an hour.
I deleted it, Subo. I didn't really, I don't know. It was fun while I was doing it, but I thought it'd be really boring for anyone to rewatch it, so I just deleted it. I'm so sorry. Maybe next time I'll keep it unlisted, so if you are subscribed to my channel, you'll be able to watch it, but it means that it won't be able to be found by people who don't subscribe. So sorry about that, Sue. Yeah, it looks like I'll probably end up doing more cookery stuff, because now we're going to be stuck at home for 3 weeks. It'll be fun to do a cookery one. So sorry about that. Right, go on, Tom. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got 2 poems for you. Is that okay?
There we go.
One Esther requested, and the one no one's requested. Okay. So this first one. So these are a couple of poems, and anyway, here you go. So they're sort of aimed at children, but hopefully can be appreciated by adults. So as you watch Ruth stamping keys, here is poetry. This first one is called The Cautionary Tale of the Old Packed Lunch. Based on a true story, I should say. High up on a shelf, looking lonely and sad, is a box full of lunch that a boy never had. Inside the box there was a sandwich to eat, an apple, some cheese, and a small chocolate treat. Nutritious food that would be good for the boy, with something sweet that his mum knew he'd enjoy. After she'd made it with motherly care, to school her son took it and placed it up there. But the child went home early, which wasn't expected, and left his poor lunchbox alone and neglected. As for the next day, well, that's a no-brainer. The boy brought that lunch in another container. He left the first lunch, he simply forgot it. And as each day passed, the food inside rotted. But days became weeks, and then months, then a year. No one dared look inside. They were all filled with fear. But they whispered about it. They were so fascinated to see how the contents had evolved and mutated. Then one day, the boy, who was now 3 years older, and desperate to prove he had grown that much bolder, decided he'd take the box down from the shelf and look at its contents with no regard to his health. The class watched at a distance as the boy looked inside. They heard a loud gasp, saw his eyes open wide. The horror, the terror of food gone so bad that the sight of it permanently altered the lad. Before they had managed to shut the lid tight, his face had gone green and his hair had turned white. Though months have now passed, he still looks the same way, and nobody knows what the boy saw that day, for he hasn't been able to utter a word, though sometimes a whimper or sigh might be heard. He sits on his own with a look of despair. If you offer him lunch, he hides under his chair. So learn from this boy, eat your food when you should, for food that's gone bad will do you no good. There you go.
Good.
It's epic. Should I do the other one?
What's that one?
The other one's called Journey to the Centre of My Belly
Oh,
Button.
this is so childish. You'll love this one, Subo.
Okay, this is
Subo says my mental age is 6 3/4.
That's perfect.
Yeah, just about right.
Okay, so this is a shorter one, and this is the last one for tonight. Journey to the Centre of My Belly Button. Here we go. There was a team of scientists who wanted to explore places that were hard to reach where none had gone before. They heard some rumours of a spot ideal for exploration. Turned out my belly button was their offbeat destination. They drank a shrinking potion, so they'd all be small enough, and took some tiny chainsaws too to cut through all the fluff. Once deep inside, they found a world beyond imagination, full of fearsome dinosaurs and luscious vegetation. Dinosaurs, that's what I said. My body is their home. Inside my belly button is the land T-Rexes roam. This actually makes sense and gives a rational explanation why sometimes a ferocious noise erupts from my location. That noise was not a trump or pump, a dinosaur was yelling. I've yet to find a reason why the room might then start smelling. I know I shouldn't feed these awesome creatures, but I must. So in go bits of chicken, drops of soup, or some bread crust. And if the urges come to clean my button, I resist them. I would not want to mess with such a precious ecosystem. As for that team of scientists, their dedication shows. They're planning now a journey to the land between my toes. There you go.
Oh dear.
The land between my toes. I haven't written that one yet.
No, oh no, you haven't, have you? There we go. That's
you
a
go.
job for you for the next 3 weeks.
Some poems, poetry, and crafting. Thank you.
Oh, you got clapped. Steph's clapping.
Yeah. So I went through a period a few years ago now, writing lots of kids' poems, and but I haven't done it for a long time.
Hi, Rate.
But there you go.
Right, there we go. What do you think?
Right. Oh, very nice.
I think this one's probably
Mm.
a bit more usable because it's got the smaller images. I find that one a bit big. That probably needs a few keys on it or something. Let's do some keys. That might help it.
Oh, okay, Kay. Kay writes poems too.
Ooh.
It's nice. It's good to have a different creative outlets, isn't it? I see poems as puzzles, really. I used to enjoy doing maths, and I think poems appeals to the same part of my brain, finding words
That
to fit and have an impact.
Circumference. Right. Oh, you'll like this one, Tom.
What?
Circumference, fattest of knights, set round the round table in tights. King Arthur said, "Sir, you and I are close, due to way too much pie."
I get
That
that.
is
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah,
That's like
that's maths and poetry.
maths and poetry.
Um,
Yes, we like maths in this house.
Right, I'm going to head off now because my oldest son has gone to bed, which means the television is available.
Whoop, whoop.
so, but I might just go to bed. We're not doing anything with the Pen 15 Club, are we? No.
Well, I don't know if they've just figured it out. Who figured out the Pen 15 Club?
The thing about the Pen 15 Club is, when I was at school, there was a thing, and people would say, "Oh, do you want to be in the Pen 15 Club?"
Was it an all-boys
and
school?
if you said yes, they said, "Right, all you've got to do is to know that you're a member of the Pen 15 Club, I have to write Pen 15 on your hand."
Yes.
And if you write Pen 15 on your hand with the PEN in capitals,
It looks like...
You'll work out what it's all about.
Oh, right, okay. You're just telling them.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. Write Pen 15
just
on
don't
your
type
hand.
But it has to be in capitals, otherwise it's not quite the same. But anyway, those were the days.
That's such a boy thing.
Uh,
My kids say, "Can you spell I cup?"
I cup.
I
Yeah.
cup.
Anyway.
Oh.
Good night. Yes, that's all right. Thank you. Right.
I know, boys. Sue Bo goes, boys.
Yeah,
boys. Oh. What phone is that? Oh, that phone is going off. Yes, Steph. Oh, thanks, Susan. Right, I'm happier now. It's got the little keys in there. It just needed something else. I think I might even go back in with that yellow. As Tom said, this is like, what do you call these? Penguin feet. Kind of like asking someone to say what appears to be unrelated words. than when said aloud. Some very inappropriate. Absolutely. Yeah, it reminds me of like Bart Simpson. Who was it? He used to ring up. Is it Mo, the bartender, to say, "Is there a whoever in the house?" Right. Let's see. Where's the spaces? Where needs some yellow? So I'm trying not to go over the actual shoes. I suppose if I'd taken the time, I could have masked them and yeah. Is there a Homo sapien? Right, there we go. I think that'll be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, this was your Masculine Monday One Sheet Wonder. My first play ever with this stamp set, apart from I used that on some stuff earlier. So, and limited palette. You know, with masculine cards, you don't have to overdo it with the colours. So that first one, I used 2 greys, Pretty Peacock and Merry Mallow. That's quite fun, isn't it? Well dressed stamp set. And the stencils, of course. So these stencils, they're a mixture of what's available in the annual catalogue and also the carryover stencils from the autumn winter. Okay, so they are still available. All right, still available. So fab colour scheme. And then this one without the Merry Mallow, I think I quite like it. It's just such a really, it's masculine but yet bright and happy colour scheme. So Pretty Peacock, Basic Grey, Smoky Slate and Daffodil Delight. And just the addition of the Buffalo Check, Well Dressed, then that stencil. So yes, I quite like this one. So who likes, so there's 1 or 2. We'll have a little vote, see what you guys think. And these will go in my stash ready to give to somebody when I need to make a... Okay, that's so funny. Sat here tapping the screen thinking, where are the hearts? Don't with YouTube. Hi, Bobby. Right, so if you've just joined, do watch the replay. You've missed Tom and 2 poems. 2 of his funny poems. Yeah, so Kay likes number 1. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Any more? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Oh, quite close actually. Oh, 1. Oh, very close. Oh, so I got to 10 now. Oh, hold on. Oh, I've lost count now. Yeah, so very close in some aspects, but then I think that just tips it. And I wonder if it's because it's got the finer details on here. And and playing with the smaller stamp. This looks like a shoal of fish now, this bit. So yeah, very interesting. Oh, your husband likes the one on the left, so that one. No, that's right. What am I talking about? I don't even know left my left from my right now. Yeah, so I mean, perhaps like a large card, you could have that as a background, and then, you know, maybe put a matting layer or whatever. It'll be interesting to see what these are like cut up. Yeah, tiny squid. Yeah, funny. Oh, that was it. I was going to tell you his idea for the hat is to stamp the hat and put the words "get ahead" underneath. Anyway, there we go. And he also said we could just create the Invisible Man, really, with this stamp set. Yeah, just have the Invisible Man. So, yeah. Right. Lovely to see you all. Thanks for hopping by, and hopefully see you guys again soon. So if you are inspired by anything you see, please remember to hop over to Artful Stampin Space. All the links are below. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you create. Okay? Right. Lots of love. Take care, guys. Bye.